What's up? This is your boy Super, and you'll never guess what game I'm playing. I'm not gonna make you guess. It's Kerbal Space Program. It's on sale on the PlayStation 4 for $10. It's usually $40, and so I decided to buy it. What the hell? I always liked space games, and most games, a lot of games on the computer are like management or strategy. They're not direct action games like Demon Souls. I like those type of games. I used to play on the computer a long time, but my computer broke, so I haven't played those types of games in a long time. And that's what this is. It's basically a NASA simulation. You're a space company and you design, test, and launch your own spaceships. And then once you're out in space, you design, test, and launch your own space stations. And the train progresses. And I watched the other YouTubers play it and thought it looked pretty cool. So I got it because it was on sale. And I'm going to show you. I hope you're ready. Dang, the next video I'm just going to start it at the welcome screen. So it's made for the PS4 and the computer. I think this is one of those games where it was an indie game on like Steam or something, and then streamers and YouTubers liked it and made it popular because they bring the good games that nobody knows about and spread them to the public. So I was gonna look for enhanced graphics because it is called the enhanced edition, but I don't think the enhancement was for the display. So I guess I'll leave all those settings back the way they are at the default settings, and let's start it up. Why does it say resume saved? I don't have any saves. Okay, because it's a computer game, that's why. Save files. Play ESA missions. About history and parts pack. About breaking grounds pack. Scenarios. Training. And start new. So if we go to start new, will that include training? Because that's what I want to do is a tutorial. Let's go ahead and training. Go ahead, let's go start new, see if it includes in the tutorial. Save name. How can I change to say edit name square? Let's go ahead and call this your boy Super. Change it. Career mode, you have to manage all aspects of the space program. Funds, reputation, and science are all active, and contracts are available at mission control. Sandbox. In sandbox modes, all parts and features are available from the start. You are free to play without any constraints, but R&D and mission control are unavailable. In science mode, you must gather scientific data to research new technologies. Funds and reputation are disabled, and contracts are not available. Okay, let's go with career mode. Change the flag. I like green, so let's pick something green. Experimental, engineering, reaction, R&D, Earth, squad. I kind of like this one. It's simple, elegant, or experimental. I think I'll go with. So there's nothing mental about a space design company or any space company. It's not mental, it's experimental. So I don't understand why that would make sense. Okay, I chose. Now what to do? Circle. Okay, yeah. What other options? Change difficulty. Allow reverting flights. Allow quick loading. Allow missing crews respawn. Number of hours before a crew marked as missing will respawn. 2 hours. Auto hire crew members before flight. No purchase required on research. Indestructible facilities include stock vessels. Game systems, re-entry heating. Okay, interesting. Career options, starting funds, starting science, starting reputation. So you can basically customize every aspect of the game. G4s, part upgrades. Okay, well we'll just leave it as default settings. Yeah, normal default settings. And career flag, your boy Super. Let's start. I'm ready to go. Welcome to the Space Center. Gene Kerman here. Nice to meet you. I'm Gene Kerman, Flight Director, and your guide for this quick introduction. This is the Space Center. From here you can manage all aspects of the space program. Feel free to have a look around. Use right stick to move the camera. Press square over the Space Center facilities to view more information about them, and press X when you're ready to head inside. If you need more information, check out the training section on the main menu. You've decided to use the radio preset. Basics. You can open the radio menu by holding triangle. It displays different options rapidly execute commands in this current scene. Cursor mode. You can toggle between normal cursor mode pressing left stick. Cursor mode allows you to interact with X over several items. Reminder, please consult controls and apps section for full details. Administration building, so it said press square for more information. Administration building. The administration building may not seem like a very exciting place at first, but here's where all our strategic decisions are made. We can upgrade it with square, we can enter it with X, back out with circle. Holding triangle opens the radio menu. Warp to next morning, select an app, enable time warp mode. Let's select an app. Okay, looks like this game is made to be on a cell phone. Gotta select apps. Is that not selecting it? Okay, so this is the apps. We got none, got controls, radio preset, contracts, KSpedia. We made the decision to relocate the KSpedia for Kerbal Space Program Enhanced Edition to our website where it can be consulted at your convenience and it's easier for us to update. For consulting KSpedia for Kerbal Space Program Enhanced Edition, visit kerbalspaceprogram.com. Now we got administration building. What can we do there? Cannot afford anything. Astronaut Complex. The Astronaut Complex contains the living and recreation space for all our crew members. New applicants also apply here to be recruited. Not enough funds to hire another recruit. Let's put our flag on there, why not? Launch pad. The launch pad is where vessels built at the VAB are launched. We are reasonably confident it's at a safe enough distance from everything else. No saved vessels found. Please go to the vehicle assembly building and create a vessel. Mission control. At the mission control facility, all available contracts can be managed. It also offers a very nice view of the launch sites for any who are brave enough to be so close to a launching craft. Okay, so looks like we got a mission here. Contract. Gather scientific data from Kerbal World First Record Keeping Society. At Kerbal World First Record Keeping Society, we need brave Kerbals with the right stuff to help achieve our dreams. We still have unchecked items on our list of records to break and would like to change that. But really, there's no sense in us still talking while there's science to be done. Shall we get to it? Give us a quick crew report before launching. It's fine. If any of the lights on the control panel are flashing, just give it a swift kick. Prestige is trivial, expires in 1 day. Objective is to recover or transmit any science experiment data from Kerbal to achieve this goal. So let's accept the mission. It's only a 1-star mission. Now, I should have played the tutorial, definitely. Research and development. Oops. At the R&D facility, our team of scientists works hard to crunch the data received from mission experiments. Here all the research technologies can be viewed and new ones discovered. Okay. Cannot afford. Cannot afford. Okay. Runaway. At the runway, spacecraft built in the spaceplane hangar have a long flat surface to reach takeoff speed. Conceivably, such aircraft could even land back on it. Spaceplane hangar. The spaceplane hangar allows construction of spacecraft designed to be launched from the runway. Hello, I'm Werner von Kerman, Chief Rocketry Engineer. This is a space plane hangar. This is where we build spacecraft that later will take off from the runway. On your left, you'll find components to construct your own space plane, starting at a starting point, then attach others to it to build. You can have a look around with the right stick. We just got this place cleaned up, so try not to mess it up too much. If we need more guidance on how to build spacecraft, have a look at the training section on the main menu. How do I leave this menu? Return to Space Center. DC Universe Online is ready to play. Vehicle assembly building tracking station. Okay, so let's go to mission control. Contracts. Recover or transmit any scientific experiment data from Kerbal to achieve this goal. Research rights sellout. We can make a quick buck from the science R&D team has collected by selling exclusive research rights to the highest bidder. Yes, that means we wouldn't be able to make use of the science ourselves, but for exclusive rights, I'm sure we could fetch a pretty penny from some other agency conglomerates. A bailout grant. So we gotta somehow we gotta get experimental data. I think I'm gonna have to go back to the main menu and do the training section. Mon or bust. Ha ha ha. Training. Getting started in basic construction. Welcome to today's lecture on vessel construction. I'm Werner von Kerman. Whether you want to put a satellite into orbit, make a transcontinental flight, or step into the very surface of the Mun, you're going to need to build yourself a ship. It should be pretty easy even if you're not a famous rocket scientist like myself. In this tutorial, I'll first show you around the Kerbal Space Center, then take you to the vehicle assembly building where you'll learn how to construct a simple ship. We'll cover adding and removing parts, what the parts do, how to change the performance settings of the parts, which have that option, and how to control staging. At the end of the tutorial, you will have a craft fit for a quick hop from the launch pad. At each step, I will lock out all the controls other than the ones you need for that step. To change the focus to the tutorial window, use R1 and triangle. You can even press X to proceed to the next step. If you manage to mess up, it took me even some time to become as skilled as I am now. You can press the circle button to go back and fix things. They won't light up unless you mess up. We're now at the Kerbal Space Center. I'll give you a quick rundown on how to get around. The KSC, for short, is home to the pinnacle of Kerbal endeavor and achievements for space exploration. Using the facilities you can see here, you will be able to manage your space program, create rockets and planes, track your Kerbal explorers as they roam the solar system, find exciting new uses for explosive substances, and in case of emergency, hire more Kerbals. To find out about each of the facilities, you can select each facility icon. If you need to repair a structure, you can do this by pressing square when selecting them. Take some time to select the buildings to see what they are, and then you're ready to enter the vehicle assembly building. The VAB. Very good. What you see in the middle of the screen is the construction area. This is where parts are placed and your craft is constructed. On the left side of the screen in the parts toolbox, that will show you all the parts that you have available in each of the different categories once there are any to pick, that is. If you want your craft to be controllable, you need a command module, and it's best to make it the first part you place. This part will either contain some plucky Kerbal crew or an automated pilot mechanism. As we're just starting here, there's only one choice. Go ahead and pick that command module from the Pods tab. MK1 command module. Originally built as a placeholder for a demonstrational mock-up of a rocket. The Mark 1 command pod was heralded as a far safer and more reliable option than its predecessors by rocket scientists throughout the world. It is now commonly seen in active service. After at least one part is placed, you can look around with the following controls. R2 and the R stick, right stick, zoom, orbit, and rotate. Press R1 and triangle to talk with me. Next. If you'd like your pilot to be able to make more than one flight, he or she will have to return safely to the ground or water on Kerbin. Parachutes are a simple way to make sure this happens. They can be found in the Utility tab. When you're choosing parts, you can reveal the details of available parts by selecting them in the toolbox. When the info is visible, most parts have an additional information window which can be opened by pressing square. Note that the parachute states the effective diameter in each state and what the maximum safe speed for deployment is. Go ahead and select the Mark 16 parachute by pressing X on it, then move it to the top of the command pod so that the green sphere at the bottom of the parachute lines up with the green sphere at the top of the pod. Please press X again to attach it. Alright. You gotta select the pods. No. Not advanced. What was it? What section in the utility? Mark 16 parachute. Considered by some to be a little more than a random stitching together of surplus parts, it is, in fact, made from. But the fact remains that the Mark 16 has been widely accepted as a general, better alternative to being in free fall. Okay, now, we gotta put it on the top until the thing on the bottom lights up. Is that what it said? It's on there, right? By pressing, then move it to the top of the command pod so that the green sphere at the bottom of the parachute lines up with the green sphere at the top of the pod, and press X to attach it. Yeah, that's what I've done. Some parts, like our parachute here, have configurable options. To see these, we need to show the cursor by pressing L3, then press square on the parachute we just attached to the pod. Do that now and you will see the available parameters. L3, there's the parachute, press square. Minimum pressure 0.04, altitude 1000. On the parachute you will see that we can adjust our altitude and the atmospheric pressure at which to open. That setting can be quite useful on distant worlds. For now, let's check that the opening height on the chute is at least 1000 meters, because safety is the Kerbal way, after all. For the min pressure slider, move it a bit to the right to 0.2. It's not a slider. Okay, yeah it is. 0.02. Better safe than what? You can't get it to the right. 0.2, not 0.2. Okay. 0.2. The setting prevents the chute from activating until the atmospheric pressure is above the configured value. On Kerbin, 0.2 is about 9 kilometers in altitude, so even if you stage early an armed parachute, it will wait till then to activate. You can hide these options by pressing square out of the dialog. When you're happy with that, we can proceed. Square out of, okay. Next up, we're going to need something to make us go. Press X on the engines tab on the left to show the available engines and solid rocket motors. Grab one and connect it to the bottom of the pod. You may need to zoom or move the camera to be able to do so. So, head over to engines. Got Bach pumper, solid fuel booster filled with a new, even more volatile fuel. The Bach offers semi-reliable performance at a good price. Connected to the bottom of our command module, yeah. We got it going, yeah. Yeah. But that's not the way I think. I'd like to get some, there we go. I don't want to move the camera, I want to move the part. Let me see, engines. Can't zoom out, can you? It won't attach. How do you move the camera again? Controls. Rotate with pan and zoom. L1 plus the right stick, okay. Why is it not going in? Pitch, yaw, roll, fine rotation, reset. That's not. Jesus Christ. What the hell is going on, man? What the hell? I do not see the... up down button. The buttons are not working the way they're supposed to. Okay, there we go, that's better. Okay, now. Okay, why does it have to be? So I gotta place 2. It's not gonna work. Let's go back to the pod. Okay, looks like I gotta have 3. Gotta have 1 more. It's a lot of dang rockets. Okay, we got pitch and yaw. I'm already getting frustrated as hell. I cannot stand this, man. Ah. Oh crap, I'm getting frustrated. How do you freaking delete them? Exit cursor mode to circle. How do you enter cursor mode? Action menu is triangle. That was reroute though. There's no way we need all these rockets. What do we got here? I need to delete things, my man. Switch editor actions build. So I take it I need to put another one underneath it. Getting seriously frustrated. I need a cursor mode. Yeah. Reset. I still can't go to the next. Dang, I'm resetting this. This has got me so mad. So upset, man. So frustrated. Okay, training again. At least that basic construction and getting started. Okay. Now, Kerbal Space Center. Okay, gotcha. Go to the pods. Got a pod. Okay. Next. M16 parachute. On top of the pod. Something on the bottom of the pod lights up. Not the whole pod. Because that looked like the whole pod lit up. Okay, next. Gotta do the parachute. Minimum pressure, 0.2. Jesus, this game is so frustrating. Use the touchpad now. It's just as frustrating. Oh crap. There, 0.2. There, now we're done. Select the engines tab. Get the booster. Grab one and connect it to the bottom of the pod. You may need to zoom in or move the camera to be able to do so. It looks like it's connected. Next. Oops, I forgot, you're starting out. You've got a famous rocket scientist, and to make that craft survivable as it stands now, you'd have to be better at rocket science than me. Ha, but impossible. The problem with that craft is that the solid rocket is too powerful for the payload. a single small pod in a chute. It will either burn up on ascent from going too fast or burn up coming back down. Even if you survive that, the craft's mass will call it to fall too fast from the parachute to operate properly, and you'd hit the surface before it could stop you. Okay, I promised to teach you how to change that to make it work in a later tutorial, but for now let's continue. Well, at least this way I get to tell you about removing parts. Show the cursor by pressing L3, pick up the back thumper, and drop it back over the parts toolbox. Okay, that was cool. Instead, let's add a solid motor that's much better match for a ship of this size. At the start of your career, you have what I consider rubbish parts. Literally, the motor here looks like, and maybe well be, a converted trash can. That said, it does have enough oomph to get this little craft moving skyward and quickly. As you progress, you will be able to unlock more engines and other parts. For now, though, let's pick up the RT-5 flea and connect it to the bottom of the pod. And that must be an engine, I would imagine. RT-5 flea, solid fuel booster. While considered by some to be a little more than a trash bin full of boom, the RT-5 can be seen in use in many space programs, perhaps possibly because it is the only option for many space programs. But nevertheless, this small booster provides a nice kick to lift small payloads to considerable heights. Use it with caution, though. Once lit, solid fuel motors cannot be put out until the fuel runs out. Sounds like a nice little addition to my rocket here. Small little rocket, though. Next. Okay, nice one. You built the small survivable craft possible. We could go launch this right now, but it might be safer to explain one other thing first. The little icons on the bottom right of your screen, you'll see the staging of stack. It's the box with the number of 0 and icons for the parachute and engine in it. This stack shows us which parts will be activated as we stage our rocket. What this shows is that when you activate the next stage, both the engine and the parachute will be triggered. While it could be considered funny to open the chute and fire the motor at the same time, it's not going to give you much of a flight. To fix this, we need to separate the engine and the chute into 2 stages. Press triangle to open the radio menu and select the stages. You will see a little plus or minus appear to the left of the box. Press X on the plus button to add a new stage. If you add too many, press X on the minus button to remove the extra ones. Make sure you have precisely 2 stages. Add. I can't see with this thing over there. Okay, so we gotta add a stage. I'm on the add button. Okay, there. Let's see. Move this to stage 1. Okay, let's see, add this one, add this one, add this one, minus that one. Okay, we need 2 stages, 0 and 1. Now how do we move the items between the stages? Can't move that stage. Excellent. It's important to note that the stages activate from the highest number and then count down. So our first stage will be stage 1, the engine, and our second one will be stage 0, the chute. Now move the engine icon from stage 0 down to stage 1 to give our pilot some comfort. Where did it go? Okay. Okay, you gotta hold it. Add it. That was to the wrong stage. How come it's not moving? It's not working there, people. There we go. We need to move the icon from stage 0 to stage 1. The parachute should be on stage 0. Okay. And the rocket should be on stage 1. Okay. Let's move it to stage 1. There we go. I'll talk to my boy. That's it. We now have a safe, well, relatively safe craft that we're ready to go. Let's make sure that if we need this design again, we don't have to build it all from scratch. At the top of the screen, you'll see the name for our craft. Untitled Spacecraft doesn't seem that majestic. Why don't you change that to be something more your style, and you can add a description if you'd like to. When you use the loadout screens later, these names and descriptions help you to grab the right vessel. Use the pause menu to change the vessel's name. When you're happy with the name, use the pause menu to save it. Alright. Rename craft. Let's call it SuperSat. Oops. Rename craft. SuperSat 0. Save craft. Why can't we save the craft? What's the description for, I wonder? Excellent work. Feel free to play around with the parts and techniques that I've shown you, and when you're ready to continue, use the pause menu to exit. Okay, I'm doing that, just that, man. We can't exit, why the hell not? Done. Okay, now save craft. Craft saved, and scenario. Oops, my bad, that's my scenario. On to training, basic flight. Uh-oh, we got a SuperSat 1, SuperSat 0. Welcome to the Kerbal Space Center Launch Facility. I'm Gene Kerman, and I'll teach you the basics of piloting a spacecraft. I trust you've already checked the basic construction tutorial. If not, I recommend you do so before going through with this one. Today we'll do a run through all the important controls for our spacecraft. Our little hopper from our basic construction lesson with one learner may not have all of them, but we'll do a full run through once and see how it flies. Flying a spacecraft, wow, the boy voice was dead on. Flying a spacecraft is all about being in control of a generally very chaotic situation. As a pilot, your main flight controls will affect the pitch, yaw, and roll of the ship. Let's look at those first. All the other controls will be locked until they've been needed or this tutorial is closed. Pitch, yaw, and roll are the three directions you'll rotate your craft. To help you visualize these, we've taken a holiday snap of the hopper below. Yaw, roll, pitch. Next up, we'll see how to rotate in these directions. You control your ship's rotation using these controls. Left pitch up, pitch up, down, and yaw left, right. Roll R2, L2, R2. By controlling pitch, yaw, and roll together, you can keep the spaceship in a controlled flight. Try it now. Notice the indicator on the lower left side of the move as you progress, provide control input. Yes, on the lower left end of the screen, my pitch goes up and down, my yaw goes left and right, and my roll your boat. Okay, now, when we go back. Yeah, in flight, all the planning you put into the staging sequence of your ship comes into play. From launch to the final deployment of the descent parachute, you can control the activation of several of the ship's parts by activating stages. X is the launch activated stage. Notice the stage indicator in the lower left corner. It shows the currently active stage. Since we haven't launched yet, it's showing the first stage is active. I have your staging controls locked for now, so the stage indicator is glowing purple. One more thing on staging. If the staging setup is causing strife or you change your mind about something, you can edit the stage sequence on the fly. Pun intended. No need to go back to the assembly facility. An important part of flying is knowing how your ship is oriented and where it is going. That's why a good pilot is always aware of the ship's altitude, where it is pointing, and its velocity vector, where it is going. These aren't always the same direction. As your skills improve, you should pick up on these. The big round instrument on the lower center of the screen is called the nav ball. This device sums up most of the critical information needed for proper death-free flight. Here you see the ship's nose in relation to the horizon. When you're not pointing straight up, it's easily visible at a line between the blue sky and the brown ground, as well as heading, compass bearing, and speed. You also get several icons that indicate things like your current velocity vector, but you'll have to look at those later. In the top center part of the screen, you have your altimeter, vertical speed indicator, and atmospheric gauges. The altimeter will show you the distance to the planet's surface at sea level. This means the actual surface may be much closer, so watch out from the ground when landing. Your vertical speed indicator shows how quickly your altitude is changing when launching. It's considered best to keep this gauge pointing up. The atmosphere gauge indicates how deep the ship is in the planet's atmosphere. This helps show how the ship is high enough for orbiting without losing speed to air resistance, or judge how effective wings and control surfaces will be. Parachute indicators. One last thing before we give this rocket a green light. In the staging stack, you can find the indicator for your parachute. This indicator shows when the chute will be activated by staging. You already know that. But the background will also change colors to indicate when it is safe to stage the parachute. In the foreground, the parachute bit of the icon itself will change color depending on the parachute state. Note, however, that by default parachutes will not deploy when unsafe, even if you stage them. The left three show safety, safe, risky, and unsafe to deploy. The chute is unstaged white in the left three. The right three show the just state after staging, armed, deployed, shredded. When you're familiar with chute colors, we can move on. Okay, enough talk. I'll unlock the flight controls and your clip be clear for launch. At any time, you may press the options button to pause the game. In the pause menu, you can restart the flight or end this tutorial and return to the main menu. For now, get yourself prepared and press X when ready to launch. Don't forget our hopper has only a solid rocket motor, so there is no throttle control. That's why we don't review the throttle here. Make sure to fly in a nice arc and enjoy the flight. R2, okay. Am I keeping her straight here? Doing good. I don't think I need to do anything. She's just gonna leave the atmosphere all on her own. Almost through with stage one. Awesome, my first rocket has did wonderfully. We're hitting that atmosphere though. Uh-oh, she's turning. I got her. How do I deploy the chute? Oh no. Almost made it to the atmosphere. Alright, now she's stabilizing. Like a dive bomber. This parachute's gonna go at 2,000 meters or something like that. You were a nice spin there. Oh crap. I waited too long to deploy the parachute. Ah. Oh shucks, something went terribly wrong there. You might want to try to stay alive when on the actual mission, you know. Don't feel bad, I'll send someone to clean that up and you can try again. Make sure you fly high enough to be going slow enough for the parachute deployment. And remember to stage it to the armament. Revert to launch. I forgot to press X to launch the parachute. We've got a 5-star pilot. That's cool. Still not time to. We burned our fuel off a little bit ago, and it's still not time to launch the chute. Beautiful. When do we launch the chute? As soon as it turns upside down. We're still heading up. Deploy the chute. Descending. You've armed the parachute. Now time to wait to get low enough and slow down enough for it to deploy safely. Don't worry. It will do so automatically now. Well, maybe worry slightly. If you didn't fly high enough, you may not have enough air under you to slow you down before you crash. Haha. Come on, SuperSat 1, don't fail me now. Awesome, and now we sit back and enjoy the descent. So that was about the right height for a satellite, I guess, low Earth orbit. And then the shuttles, I'm going to call super shuttles. Because plane would be the normal, and then since it's going to space, it's super. Awesome. Taking a while to get down there. Get tangled up the chute. We could fall now, it's all good. We have touchdown. Middle of the road. Well done, you've survived your first quick flight. When you landed or splashed on Kerbal and not in training, you can move your cursor just above the altimeter and press X on the recover button on the panel that slides down to be picked up. I've also unlocked the crew hatch, so if you feel like going out for a walk or swim, you can change the cursor mode by pressing L3 and then pressing X on the extra vehicle or activity button that will pop up when you move the cursor over the portrait of the Kerbal you want to take for a walk. You can do it just for fun or to collect a surface sample. That ends today's lesson. So we got recover vessel, and that would be, I can't see it. That's probably the button. Damn it. Okay, so that's over the Kerbal. View EVA right there. Well, alright. Let go, climb out. Climb out. There we go. What did you want me to climb? Grab, climb. Climb out. Let's get us a soil sample, boys. We can jump with X. Don't know what circle does. Don't know what square does. Enable Sci-Warp, hide portrait, toggle nav bar, open map, select an app, enable. Okay, we got those. We got brakes action group, toggle gear action group, light action group, resources, action sets. I want to know where he collects samples at. Maybe we'd have to walk on to. Let's catch a ride. Oh, we can't. We gotta actually end the scenario. End scenario. Alright, this was your boy Super playing the Kerbal Space Program. We've got to build our first spaceship, and the test flight was successful. I hope you enjoyed watching, and it would help me out a lot if you could like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video.